time to pour and be filled. Let's get into it.
Hey y'all, it's Rasheité. Welcome back to the Pour Podcast. We have gotten through the full Pour system, and now it's time to just have conversations about worship leading, burnout, leading in ministry, and all the things. I have a very special guest. I think I call everyone a special guest, but this one is particularly special. Pastor Jackson.
Hello, how are we?
I'm good. Welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here with you.
Thank you, y'all. This is my pastor. I could not have a pastor on here before I had my pastor, and so I'm excited. We're gonna have some good conversation. Ask some hard questions.
Ask them all. I'm looking forward to it. And look, I think we've already kind of given our disclaimer.
Yep.
This is July. I'm exhausted. Filters are off. So don't judge me based on whatever is coming out. Judge the content.
Okay. Yep. Y'all don't judge
Not
my pastor.
how it comes out. Not how it comes out. I'm
Good.
just tired. So
I like it. We want no filter. But before we jump in, tell the people, for those viewers who may not know, where do you lead? Tell us about
Absolutely.
you.
James Anthony Jackson. I serve as the senior pastor of the New Beginnings Fellowship Church here in the city of Indianapolis, what they consider the far east side of Indianapolis. We started the ministry where we were planted in 2004, and now we are in 2024. God.
That's crazy, Pastor.
See, I just got tired right then when I thought about how long this has been. We've been going at this for 20 years.
Yeah.
And so, yes, serving 20 years. And to see what God has done has been nothing less than a miracle. I'm probably the most shocked person in Indianapolis. But I'm grateful that he decided to use a crazy, crazy guy.
Very crazy.
No, you have no idea how crazy. Crazy dude that had nothing promising going in a season of my life and has been literally a journey of obedience.
Yeah.
Like, you just do what I tell you to do. It's almost like that. It's almost like I had this experience with God where he was just like, look, just do what I tell you to do.
Yeah.
Don't do what you've been watching. Do what I tell you to do. And if you do what I tell you to do, the way I tell you to do it, and even if you get it wrong, you're going to recognize it's wrong, repent, and go back in the direction I'm telling you to go. And what I do for you in public is going to determine what you do for me in private. That's 30 years ago.
Okay, so I like that. And I'm about to go in a different direction than where I thought I would go.
Okay.
Because obedience is the second step in the Pour system.
Facts.
And it's also a very hard thing to just say, all right, God, whatever you say, I'm going to do it. And even when you said, even if you get it wrong, repent and come right back.
Facts.
But God really will refill you through that obedience.
Because he understands us. That's the problem. We go through these moments where we try our best to make sure we portray this image to people.
Yeah.
When the reality is, God is so not impressed because he knows you.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, that's cool. You want to give, that's what you want to show people? Okay, great. But just know it's not going to always work out because at the end of the day, I know you, and there are parts of you that if you don't keep working on you is going to come out.
Whew.
And if you come out, just know you're going to make more work for us to do.
Yes.
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 It's that situation. So my thing is, I stay in touch with me. I know James.
Yeah.
Now the pastor, bishop, dad, father ministry, leader, community leader. That's great. Those are words of endearment. But I don't get intoxicated by compliments. My granddaddy used to say it all the time. He said compliments is like just an expensive, nice smelling bottle of cologne. He says good to smell, it's good to wear.
Yeah.
But if you drink it, it'll kill you.
Oh, fair. I was gonna say I like a good bottle of perfume, but I don't want to drink it.
You don't want to drink it.
You're right.
You don't want to drink it. So these are the moments where you wear it when you wear it, but don't internalize it. Internalize the truth about you. You know who you are. You know what your strengths are. You know what your weaknesses are. You know everything about you. So when you come in contact with that, that's what you keep bringing before God.
Yeah.
I don't bring Pastor Jack before God.
Yeah, facts.
I don't bring bishop before God. I don't bring leader before God. I keep bringing James before God. I keep bringing James like, God, these people, 30 people join church. What do I do with that?
Yeah.
Or I got this issue with the staff. God, what do I do with that? Father, I'm angry right now. What do I deal with that?
Yeah.
Father, I feel these moments, these emotions are coming back. How do I deal with that? Keep working on James. Come in contact with James. So as he continues to give me guidance and direction in how I keep working on James, God keeps making James look like somebody that he really is. Like you actually made me look like that. Like
He'll make you look good.
He will make you look a lot better than who you really are.
Yeah.
And it's that moment where
I'm grateful.
Oh my God. So when you hear people say stuff like, oh my God, Pastor Jackson, you this, you that, I'm thinking, no, that's all God.
Yeah.
That's all. And I ain't saying that for no false humility. I know the truth about me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. I like it.
Makes sense.
Pour is, for those of you who might be new, Pour is a resource really that was developed for worship leaders to help us combat burnout. And so the one question I ask everyone who's been on the show is, have you ever experienced burnout? And how do you address it when you do?
Wow. Okay, so in August, right, we got this big thing that has been going for years called Movie with a Message that we do, right?
Yep.
People excited about it, look forward to it. The reality is, Movie with a Message was really my response to burnout. Years ago, I felt so overwhelmed going into a new year. And I'm talking from staff, from family, just so much going on. Ministry going on. I'm trying to juggle it. I'm trying to handle it. And usually I would take this particular break in December before I go into the new year. Well, so much started going on. I'm midway into December, still so much I had to do. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to go into a new year.
Yeah.
And I didn't take any kind of break. About time we got to January, I was so tired. And most of the time when January comes, for people in ministry know this, when January comes, that's when everything's popping.
You got to hit the ground running.
It's takeoff.
Yeah.
And so I know that most of the time I take off in January so that I can take off in July. And I kept saying to myself, I'm not going to make it. I remember telling my wife, I was telling Tara this, shout out to my babe.
Shout out to Lady T.
So I was talking to Tara, and I said to her, because I felt so empty at this moment. It was probably January, and I said, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it this year.
Yeah.
And she was like, what are you talking about? I said, emotionally right now, I'm empty. And I feel like, and she's like, well, what do I need to do? And I said, no, babe, this ain't nothing this ain't no indictment on you.
Yeah.
It's just, man, I know me. And I felt like all of my filters were off, that it was just a matter of time. Something was going to happen. This is what I'm telling her.
Yeah.
I felt like something was about to happen that if I don't get a break, I'm getting ready to embarrass Kingdom.
Yes.
It's going to get bad.
I'm so glad that you're sharing that. I think so many of us, wherever you are in ministry, right? And even if your ministry is home, like we have a lot of moms that watch, right?
Shout out to the moms.
Shout out to the moms as we carry, and you get to that place where you feel like you're empty, but I think there's some shame attached to that. Like we don't want to say we're empty. We don't want to say we're tired. And we feel like we just have to keep going. But the danger is we will embarrass Kingdom if we keep running on E.
And what I've come to learn is the majority. I would put money on this one. If I was a gambler, I would bet this, that the majority of people who are in ministry, in leadership, these people that experience moral failures, I mean, the stuff that gets out where everybody starts saying, I knew he wasn't real. I knew she was the devil. No, these people are not evil. They're tired.
I agree. They're exhausted.
They are emotionally exhausted. And when you are emotionally exhausted, you go into default mode where flesh kicks in. Flesh just kicks in like, I got it. And you're like, the last thing you want. It's almost like that whole Inside Out movie.
Yes,
You
I
see
love that
them?
movie, yes.
Oh, shout out to the people that made that. But it's like, it's okay to have the emotion, but you don't need it to take the wheel long.
Because when it does,
And many of these leaders, pastors, they don't know how to rest. And so when they are so emotionally exhausted, flesh kicks in, takes the steering wheel, and boy, it is a wreck about to happen.
It is and I think it's hard to see the wreck sometimes because when you're anointed and you're gifted, you can
Absolutely.
be doing a lot behind closed doors and show up, and God will still move.
Let's be honest. There are some things about our gifts that God has just gifted us with.
Yeah.
So much so, you don't have to pray before you use it.
And they're giving without repentance, so it
ain't going
yours.
If I ask you right now, like, look, there's some people that are outside and they just really need to hear a song before they get ready to start.
I'm there.
You're not going to say to
Nope.
me, you know, Pastor, I really need to go and consecrate and pray. No, you don't.
It's a muscle, and I can flex it. I'm going to
At
go minister
any
in song.
moment,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So we know that we have a gift to do that. And if we're not careful, we can spend so much time in flexing that muscle that we don't work on our core.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's the muscle, the arms, right? That's the one that people like to see. You want to flex that. Nobody flex their core.
And nobody wants to work on their core either.
Nobody wants to work on their core, you know? And the reality, because the core is what hurts.
It hurts.
The core is the exhausting part. And the core is not what you see all the time.
Yeah.
So who wants to work on something people don't see?
Yeah.
So it's that moment, right, where I think where the moral failures come in. And so when I see somebody that's having moral failure, or something that jumped off, or something that happened with somebody in ministry, man, I don't go into my judgment.
Yeah.
I go into, God, they're tired. Now, of course, you know, the saints, boy, sometimes they can be so,
Listen.
oh my God.
We tearing them up.
Hear me.
The saints are ripping the people to
Oh my
shreds.
God, they're ripping them. I knew he wasn't real.
Yep.
And now that's why I would have left the church a long time ago. He wasn't this. No, it's not. He's not evil. He's emotionally exhausted.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is we have bought into the trick of thinking that we're faithful if we work,
That's good.
and don't rest. God rested.
He rested. And we will model the busyness of Jesus, but not
And
model
ignore
the
the
rest.
rest. We'll ignore the rest.
We will.
We'll ignore the rest. And when you ignore the rest, flesh jumps in.
Yeah.
And flesh knows how to get that house as soon as he take over.
Yeah.
And you're almost like, all right, this guy, right? I remember this in this moment because while I was getting my rest, this guy, Dr. Sherlock, man, look, shout out to you, man. So he has this book out, right? And what is the name of my brother's book? It skips me. So he has his book out, and he says in the book, you have to learn how to tame the lion.
Okay.
No, he called it tame the tiger.
Okay.
You've got to get that tiger back in the cage, right? He says it's like your emotions is almost like we going to the zoo, right? And we just walking, having a good time in the zoo, and out of nowhere, tiger gets out of the cage.
Okay.
So when thank you. Come on, walk with me. Come on, we at the zoo. So when this tiger gets out the cage, what are we going to do?
I'm out of there.
We out.
As quickly as I
We're
can.
going straight into panic mode.
Yeah.
We're going straight into survival mode. And then he starts talking about physiologically what happens to your body. Your pressure goes up. Your heart starts racing. You going into this mode where it's like survival mode, right?
Yeah.
He says when you're in survival mode, if somebody asks you a question, if I ask you what's 10 times 10, even if you know it,
You probably couldn't tell it.
you're not going to tell it. Because in your mind, I don't have time to try to figure out that because I'm in, right?
I'm trying to live.
I'm trying to live. I'm trying to live. You going straight into survival mode. It's almost like the wildebeest while they're jumping and a tiger's going after them. They go into mode of escape. So that tiger is out. He says that's what happens when we are emotionally exhausted.
Jesus.
The tiger is out. And we have been trying year after year, moment after moment, ministry after ministry opportunity, trying to get away from a tiger when the reality is no one have decided, can we figure out how to put this tiger back in the
Jesus.
cage? Right?
I like it.
And so we have to get the tiger back in the cage. In ministry, if we don't get the tiger back, of course we're going to run. They're going to say, oh, wow, he's very athletic. Man, I'm trying to survive.
Yeah.
There are people right now trying to just survive emotionally.
Yeah.
They're trying to figure out, how am I going to get my children to respect me again? They're trying to figure out, how am I trying to get my marriage back in order again? But then their flesh has gotten into a moment where, think about this. So if I'm asking you what 10 times 10 is, and you're not, like, I don't have time to think about what that is. What if somebody's telling you you're spending too much time away from your family?
Yeah.
When you're in survival mode, you're not thinking about that either.
Right. And you're losing them.
Somebody's telling you, hey, you need to spend a little bit more time with your kids. You're not thinking that. And you're still running. Somebody tell you, hey, look, that girl's a little too close to you. That dude he's been a little bit too flirtatious to you, right? Yep. He's slipping in your DMs a little too much. Yep. You're not thinking about not.
No, because you're just running.
You're running. And this is I believe is the setup from the enemy, because he knows all this.
Yeah. Yeah.
He knows that in a minute, he's going to break.
Yep.
Now, he sounds good when he's ministering. She sounds good when she's preaching. Sounds good when they're serving. But we know, emotionally, they're running off a cliff full speed.
And it's a matter of time.
It's just a matter of time.
Y'all, and that's what the POUR system is meant to do. I mean, it really gets back to the basics, those foundational things,
Absolutely.
Right? The preparation, the obedience, unbrokenness, and rest.
Yes.
Which we've talked a lot about.
Sure.
And I think you model that well, the rest.
I had to experience it.
But what about your teams? Does that trickle down?
Well, that's why transparency is so important, right? That whole Move the Message came out because I was exhausted.
And I also love that the whole month of August, I won't be on the schedule to sing.
Okay, so it didn't start off like that.
Very true.
because now you're getting ready. This is answering your question. This is addressing your question when you said, what about how it trickles in your team?
Yeah.
Because just as much as I kept saying how exhausted I was, and August is my time where even though we've done the work to record and production is taking place, so now they're seeing me on a screen in August, but I'm at the beach.
Yeah.
And so now it's the moment where I tell my leadership, man, look, let's rest. Let's take this opportunity to pull away. So now other people come in and sing. Other people come in and minister. Other people come in these moments when you're exerting yourself so much. You have the opportunity to get rest. And then God continues to show, now look what has happened while you're resting. I'm at the beach. I'm somewhere unplugged all the way.
Yeah.
And I'll look on social media and somebody say, "Oh wow, Pastor, you really blessed me today," and I'm thinking, "Wow, you're welcome." I'm like, oh my God, that word you preach was so about.
Watching the waves.
You're welcome.
I love it.
You're welcome. Last year, somebody says, I think somebody sent me a picture. Tim sent me a picture. Said, "Man, you're not gonna believe who just joined our ministry, who just connected and gave their life to, who just connected ministry." Man, these are Colts players that have joined church on that Sunday, and I'm like, wow, that's really nice. I wish I had a medal.
But you weren't there.
I'm unplugged.
I like it.
It because at the moment, I say this all the time, and I may have said this to you. You're no good to people if you're no good.
Yeah.
You're no good. You're no good. So I'm resting. I'm getting replenished, and so now we try to trickle that down into our teams.
I like it.
Yeah, and so we hold people accountable to that. How you doing? How you feeling? Ty, you good? All right, let's ride.
So do you think from all that you're doing to make sure that trickles down, do you think that your volunteers really believe that, you know what, I can block out this Sunday, I can sit down, I can rest, I can just enjoy service, or I can go to the beach? Because I think sometimes a lot of churches function on volunteers.
Sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
And we see volunteers serving in multiple ministries sometimes,
sure,
right?
Sure.
And the way that I was brought up, especially as a pastor's kid,
yes,
you serve, yeah. And God will refill you even without rest.
Yeah.
And so I think sometimes we take that culture into how, I've taken it into how I serve, right?
Yes.
How does that work at Newbie? Do you think the volunteers feel like they can sit down?
Well, that's the thing. They're going to follow their leader.
Yeah.
So when, like Sunday, right? Sunday baptism, it was an amazing day. It was a baptism.
It was really good.
But it was the first Sunday in July, though. So people were coming up to me like, "We didn't think we would see you."
Oh,
like,
that's right.
Because I'm usually out.
Yeah.
I just wasn't going to miss. I was not going to miss baptism. I'm like, man, I'm jumping in that water. I'm going in. I'm happy. I was like, okay, I just got to take that day.
DeMarcus definitely texted and was like, "So is Pastor preaching tonight?"
Okay, so this is addressing your question, because in their mind, they're not expecting to see me.
Yeah.
They're not expecting to see. They were shocked to see me. They were like, "Wow, you were here," and I'm like, "Yeah, I am." You ain't gonna see me next week, though. It's that moment where, yes, and okay, so the people who are over our children's church, right, comes to me in staff meeting, shares with me, "Hey, Pastor, all of our workers, July, we're gonna shut down July and get ready for moving the message, blah 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 blah." Right now, the first part in my head started thinking, "Wait a minute, so you're gonna let the children? They're gonna be in the sanctuary?
Yes. What am I gonna do with my kids?
Oh my God, there are people that's not gonna." I've actually walked in the church. Now, I wasn't going in, but it was one time I came to the church, and I was on sabbatical, but I just came in. I miss my church.
Yeah.
If I was not the pastor of New Beginnings Fellowship Church, I would be a member of New Beginnings Fellowship Church.
It's a good church.
It's a great church. I love my church.
Love New Big.
I love New Big. And so I said, and so staff's like, I said, "Look, I'm coming." And they were like, "No, Pastor, do not come." I was like, "I'm not going in. I'm not going around, but I am coming to church." And so I was in the back. And just so happened while I was in the back, I saw this parent talking to their child, and this child is devastated. He's devastated that they didn't have children's church that Sunday. And she's sitting there trying to console him. Like, "Don't worry, they're gonna have it next week. It's just this, and that, and I was like, oh my gosh, I felt horrible.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, how much more horrible would I have felt if my workers would be in shape
Yeah.
to minister to them?
Because they need a break.
They need a break too.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Okay.
And I might make a few people angry with this question.
Okay, let's do it. Let's roll.
I need you to answer honestly.
Shake the tree.
Let's shake
girl.
the tree a little bit. I'm shaking the tree. So we talked about the ministry workers in the children's church, and we love them.
Love them.
I do. I mean, they keep my kids while I sing.
Sure.
And they're great. But let's be honest.
Yes.
hardest working ministry in the church. Who is it?
Oh, God. Man, yeah, you get ready to get everybody in trouble. No, I ain't know you were going to shake that tree.
I'm shaking the tree.
I don't know.
No, Pastor, come on. I know the answer.
I think the hardest is mine.
I mean, but right behind you.
Okay, all the people that worship, all the worship team, those that are.
Did you say the worship team?
Yeah, I say worship team.
Worship team. The worship team.
Wait.
Sorry to the media team.
Shout out to everybody. Because that's a little foul for you to ask that. But I need to say this because the media team, I know I can just imagine what you guys deal with. You got to deal with production. You got to make sure things are right. I get that. I get it. Shout out to our team of touch.
He's going to shout everybody out now.
I'm going to shout at everybody. But I'm going to shout out to those who have been on their grind. Our ministry touch, man, y'all got to deal with personalities and got to make sure the orders, and you got to make sure you still do it with a kind heart. I get that. And yeah, but worship team, let's go there.
The worship team works hard.
Y'all do.
And one of the things and this is no knock to the rest of the team. I think every ministry leader and all the ministries and all the volunteers, we can't, like, the church can't function without them.
Absolutely.
Right. And I think we all bring our best every Sunday, especially at New B, because New B is an experience, right? So we have solid teams and solid volunteers. Thanks. But one of the things when I go in and do worship workshops with worship teams, one thing that I do not leave without talking to them about is how important our role is on that platform, right? Like, it's the most memorable experience, right? And if we show up and we are not as prepared as you are, that's a problem, right? And so I ask them often, how would you feel if you showed up to church and pastor didn't know what he was talking about, hadn't reviewed his stuff, hadn't prayed, and we get up there halfway reviewing our music, knowing the song sometimes, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And to me, that's where my thought of we should be the hardest working ministry right behind the pastor.
You guys have the assignment. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Because this is how I see mine. But let me tell you about you guys. And I share this all the time with Pastor Minister Larry, and share with him that your people, your team, you guys' responsibility is to usher people to a space where they are convinced that they are in the presence of God.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Yeah.
How are you to literally grab people by the hand and say, hey, look, you got to meet him.
Yeah. Like,
you ever had somebody that you're like, no, you got to meet him. You got to meet him. He's here.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, he's so crazy about you, but he's going to show you. He's going to talk to you. He's going to lead you. Come and let me show you. Which is why, this whole idea of, I call it, this whole rule of engagement is so crucial.
Yeah.
When you guys are up ministering, that you're making sure that you're engaging because somebody's watching you the whole time.
Yeah.
There's literally some people that sit in the congregation in a certain space so that they can be at a view of you.
It's true.
They are. There's somebody that they connect with you. So now you have the responsibility of helping usher them to the table.
Yeah.
Where they're getting ready to meet somebody that can ultimately change their life forever. Yeah. That is one heck of a responsibility.
It is. And we have to do it week after week.
Week after week. Service after service after service. What would happen if you, like being the host or hostess, where you're the one that when they come into the restaurant and you're the one say, hi, how are you? How many? All right, come on. Let me show you where your table is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What happens when you are the one that give off a vibe of making them not feel welcome, of making them feel ignored, of making them feel they're not important, or making them feel like they're not valued.
Yeah.
They'll leave before they even meet them. They'll leave before they meet them. All right? Go deeper. We're not just talking about somebody that just need encouragement. There are people literally coming in that church suicidal.
Yes.
They tried night before. They tried it and it didn't work. Or they tried it last week and it didn't work. Or somebody in their family just got murdered. I mean, I'm sitting there watching people who I know their son just got killed in a car accident the night before.
Yeah.
I'm watching somebody, their son, they just got the message that their son was killed in a car accident. And before she went to the hospital, she came to church.
Jesus.
Do you think she come to church to hear how good somebody sing?
Listen, not at all.
Do you think they're coming to church to hear me go into any type of calisthenics, want to hear my hoop or hear how smart I am and articulate? They are coming because they believe that God is going to be there.
Yeah.
And is going to give her what she needs to go to that hospital and to see her dead child.
Yeah.
And she not lose her mind. That's how crucial our assignments are.
I agree.
And nobody has the opportunity to take it in a way where, well, we'll just try again next week.
You might not have that chance.
There is no next week.
Yeah.
There is no next week.
Especially now, I feel like post-COVID church
Boy.
is so different.
Very.
Like nobody is just coming to church out of routine anymore. They're coming with their hands open. They don't have to be in the building.
They don't have to.
If they're in the building, it's because they need that encounter.
Like you're leaving your computer that all you had to do is just click on it.
Yep.
And you're watching service.
And you're in church.
You're going to hear them. You're going to hear what you hear. You're going to, all of that, right? I'm leaving that to get dressed, to get these kids ready, to get, all of that to come in. They're not coming through those doors the way they used to come in.
Yeah.
And we have a responsibility of feeling that pulse, of knowing and being in tune with that.
I agree.
And every once in a while, and this is a work, it's ongoing work, but this is where I have to continue to be sensitive to that, to the point that I infuse that into my leaders.
Yeah.
So, every once in a while, I'll get a call or I get a text from the music ministry, right? So I get a call from maybe the MD or, shout out to Matt, man. Love you, boy.
Shout out to Matt.
But Matt is a church boy.
Is he?
Oh my God. If Matt, shout out. If you hear any of this or anybody hear about this and send it to Matt, send it to him. I would almost bet this. Matt is the one that if we buck every Sunday.
Oh yes, for sure. He would love it. This past Sunday, listen, we were on our way. When you put that hand out.
I know. And I bet every time I stick that hand out to say that, it's almost like I'm telling a child that's right there in the balls, those balls, don't jump in there. It's torture. I know it drives Matt crazy.
That. You could have let us jump this Sunday. Now you could have let us jump.
I know. I get it. Now I need to let me just bring some clarity. I need to bring a little clarity to my discernment. This is what I share with Larry all the time.
Yeah.
Right? I share with Larry. I said, Larry, sometimes if we're not careful, we can get quickly too. We can get easily intoxicated by the moment that happens with the first half of the church. The first half of those, man, they come and have church.
Yeah. Yeah.
They come in. And because we feed off energy, we feed it, they're ready to have church. They're ready to go. It's, and moments we will have it like that. Not saying we don't have church. Now look, hey, it goes down in New Beacon.
Down.
It goes down. Now, but in moments where if I throw the hand or if I say, wait, not now, it's because I probably have discerned the back 10.
That's fair.
The back half.
Yeah.
The back half ain't doing
They didn't
all
come
that.
for that.
The back half ain't jumping. The back half they ain't doing that.
And they need something more than...
Because a lot of them are still trying to figure out what this church stuff is really about. And I would never want to give off something that would cause them to ask questions that we can't answer.
Yeah. That's fair.
Feel me?
Yes.
It is that moment of saying, I have to be sensitive. And I'll even share with Larry and ask that, look, make sure you share with the team. Even as you're singing, even as you're ministering, don't forget about the back 10. Don't forget the back, when I say back 10, the back 10 rows.
Yeah. Because
they need to know, why are you doing that? Why did you say that? Why did he do that? That's why there are moments I'll just pause and say, okay, let me just tell you what I was getting ready to say. Let me just share with you guys, there may be someone in this moment that may be, man, that's to the back 10.
Yeah. That's good.
The front 10,
they locked in. The front 10, they
ain't
locked
in. They the fire starters.
Yeah.
Some people are like, okay, bring them to the altar. Da, da, da. No, we got the front 10.
Yeah.
That front half, which is most churches, the front half, they're coming. They're coming to have church.
Yeah. Right?
That back 10, a lot of them are coming with questions.
Yeah.
And we have to be fair. To not ignore my front 10, I don't. But I definitely try not to ignore that back 10.
That's fair. We get the hand.
So it's not one, I just want y'all to know, it's not one of those moments where I don't feel like it. In fact, there'll be moments the church boy and me want to go.
Yeah.
But the discernment says, I need to share some with them. There are
Oh,
times even
good.
in invitation times, moments where people are coming and joining, that I'll share with whoever it is that's singing to lead, I usually give a certain signal to say to them, no. I know you have the gift that you can go here.
Wrap it on up.
I need you to stay right here.
Yeah.
Stay in pocket with me. Stay right here because right now, let God do what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I don't want it to turn into them looking at you and them not hearing God.
Because that moment is so special.
That's
and
where the
important.
life change.
Yeah, that's the life
They
change.
make a choice. They're going to make a choice.
Yeah.
This is a moment where God is saying, okay, I did my part. Now it's time for you to do yours.
Yeah.
We don't want to lose that.
Right.
It's like, no, I want you to make this choice. This is the moment. Are you going to trust me just to say, okay, God, this don't make sense.
Yeah.
I still have my doubts, but there's something in me telling me to trust you to do something. Man, that's powerful.
It's
That's
very
powerful.
powerful.
So it's crucial though. It's crucial though for us to make sure that, the Bible talks about people who are not fit for.
Mm-hmm.
That word fit, literally, when we talk about fitness, we're talking about people who are in shape for something.
Yeah.
We think if somebody's not fit, that just means you ain't qualified. No, this means in shape. You're well qualified.
Yeah.
But even qualified people may not be in shape to handle certain assignments.
I like it.
Feel me? That's how crucial that assignment is for me.
I like it, Pastor.
It is. I remember one time I was talking to, now I don't know if you knew this, but before I did accept my call and what God was calling me to do, but before I did a lot of preaching, I was a worship leader.
Yes, I did.
Okay,
that.
so I'm always in my mode in talking and sharing. And one of the things I remember sharing with some of our leaders, and some of those that are leading, I don't need you, not on Sunday morning, I don't need you spending a lot of time talking to the praise team. In fact, you ain't supposed, if you ever notice, sometimes when I get up, even though we go get in sync and we'll sing together, I don't look at y'all. You ever notice that?
You don't.
I don't even give you a command. You ever hear me talk to you? I don't say nothing to you. I don't say nothing to y'all. I don't say, hey guys, let's go. Hey guys, let's do. No, because there's a difference between leading somebody to the throne and leading them to rehearsal.
Yeah.
Those people not coming to hear you rehearse. Do that in rehearsal. Yeah, go ahead, Steve, and give me that, Steve. Yeah, give me a little bit of... No, that's rehearsal. That's rehearsal.
Yeah.
These people somebody's out there about to kill themselves.
Yeah.
We can care less about you talking to Matt, you talking to anybody back there singing. Altos, come on, we need... No, that's rehearsal.
Yeah.
You minister to them. Save that for... Do you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's good.
It's the crucialness of the engagement. Is that, and that's how now, if I'm looking at it that intensely, I don't want to do that out of shape. It's hard to do that out of shape.
Yeah.
It's hard to do that when you're tired. It's hard to do that. Feel me?
I do.
Okay.
I do. And so I'm so grateful for you sharing. Y'all, we have to tame the tiger. I think that, like, if there's anything that I have taken from this conversation, it is taming the tiger. So I appreciate you sharing that with us.
Hear me.
Yeah.
Tame the tigery. Because the problem is, if you don't tame it, things that you would normally be able to address easily, you ignore them.
Yeah.
When the tiger is out.
Yeah. So let's put the tiger back in.
Please put the tiger back in, because when the tiger gets back in, then it makes sense now when they tell you, don't answer that call.
Yeah.
It makes sense. You're stronger, and you're at a place where you're at capacity now, that if somebody says, man, you know what that was about.
Yeah.
Show your discernment, because your discernment is off when the tiger is out.
It is.
You're not the smartest. In fact, that's where the Bible starts talking about wisdom and wise and foolishness. That foolish one jumps out when the tiger is out.
Yes.
And people look at you like, you don't know what 10 times 10 is? Absolutely, I know what 10 times 10 is, but I got so much going on in me, I
can't even process what 10 times 10 is.
And if you can't process what 10 times 10 is,
you're in danger.
You're in danger.
Yeah.
And you can't process when it's time to hang up the phone.
Mm.
You can't process when it's time to end that conversation.
Yeah.
You can't process when it's time to draw your boundaries.
Yeah.
You can't process when, look, this is a dangerous area. You need to go home. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You can't process it when the tiger's out.
I like it. Last words, any final thoughts?
Oh man, look, hey. We closing? Okay, I got some more.
Pastor could go on
like
and
Mr. T,
on,
I got
y'all.
plenty more. Let's
You got
go.
more? So that means we got to do a part two.
Bring me back.
Pastor
No, but I say this because I said this before, and I'll say it again. You're no good to people if you're no good.
Yeah.
You're no good to your family if you're no good. You're no good to ministry if you're no good.
Yeah.
Tame the tiger. Get your rest. Go back to a place of silence where you can just be able to say, look, I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to go to whatever space. I don't care. It doesn't have to be a beach. It can just be your backyard. I don't care. But wherever you're going, take the opportunity to refuel. I don't care if you're in a Pinto. Do they even have Pintos anymore?
I don't know. Do they make Pintos?
Shout out to those with Pintos, man. I ain't lying. I love y'all. Deuce in the quarter. Well, I don't care. I don't care what kind of car it is. I don't care if it's Bentley. I don't care whatever car it is, because whether it's the least expensive or the highest of expense, as far as price of a car, none of it can run without gas.
None of it.
Refuel.
Yep.
and let's ride.
Let's ride. Let's ride. Thank you so much, Pastor, for being with us. Y'all, thank you for listening, watching, however you joined us. If you have questions about Pour and want to learn more about the system, go ahead to pourandbefilled.com. Everything you need to know is there. If you want to bring in some resources for your worship team, holler at me. Let me know. We can come in and work with your team. And that's it. We'll see you next time.
I'm proud of you, girl.
Thanks, Pastor.
I'm proud.